So this is admittedly a lot sooner than I expected to be making another Saw X update video. I didn't expect for quite some time for us to get any more information regarding Saw X, or anything behind the scenes looks, or any more information about traps, returning characters, plot details, you name it. But at work yesterday, I was on Twitter and I unfortunately saw some news that is going to make myself and a few other fans a little mad. For me, I didn't expect this character to necessarily return for the reason of the actor notoriously is not a fan of these movies. The actor really isn't a fan at all from what I gather. There was also a court dispute with them there in regards to, Lionsgate or whatever was going on, paying them royalties for their role in the original Saw movie. It has apparently been confirmed that Cary Elwes as Dr. Lawrence Gordon will not be returning in Saw X. And I found out as per this tweet right here from a Twitter account called Saw X Updates, and initially I was a little skeptical of whether this was true, whether this was false and all that sort of stuff, mainly for the reason that, there was no official source provided in regards to this information. There was no official link or anyone to credit regarding this information being brought out there regarding Lawrence Gordon's return and whether he is, whether he isn't. And even though this Twitter account did post, I was a little skeptical, so I did admittedly do a bit of digging. And that's when I eventually came across this article by Collider talking about Saw X after the trailer had been released and the information we knew thus far. So let's get in and let's read a lot of this information, mainly for the reason that it was only posted 3 days ago, and there is a bit of information in here that I find quite interesting. So we're just going to go through and read the entire article where it says, is there anything more terrifying than a psycho with a cause? Jigsaw, the sadistic serial killer, self-appointed keeper of moral standards, the inventor of the most diabolical escape rooms known to man, is back in Saw X, the next installment in the hugely successful Saw franchise. God knows what specific type of hell will be inflicted on Jigsaw's new victims, whose punishments are designed to fit their moral crimes. The Saw franchise has established a history of escalating violence, devising clever torture traps more gruesome than the last, earning a top spot in the canon of torture movies. Directed by the horror legend James Wan, the original 2004 introduced the world to the reverse bear trap, a clamp welded inside the victim's mouth, clamping her jaw shut if she fails to retrieve the key to the device hidden inside the stomach of her still alive cellmate. I like how they emphasize that in brackets. The clamp is designed to spring open, splitting her jaw apart. In the same movie, oncologist and adulterer Dr. Lawrence Gordon, played by Cary Elwes, escapes from his shackles by sawing off his own foot in what's arguably one of the most iconically gruesome scenes in the franchise. Let's not get into the rest of the stomach-churning horrors that Jigsaw has designed over the years. Suffice it to say, each movie in the series has been an escalation in terror and grossness that's still proving captivating enough to draw in an audience. We'll finally find out whether audiences have had enough or can't get enough when Saw X comes out this fall. While Saw movies are known for overlapping timelines, Saw X's timeline appears to be set between the original Saw and Saw 2, with the exciting return of Tobin Bell as John Kramer or Jigsaw, and possibly also a return to more plausible character-driven, grounded but clever storytelling that defined the first Saw movies. Read on for everything we know so far about the film. The official Saw X trailer was released by Lionsgate on July 31st, 2023. The trailer finds John Kramer traveling down to Mexico City to undergo a treatment that will cure him of his terminal illness, only to learn that he's been scammed. The second half of the trailer is set to the Hollies, the air that I breathe, and shows some of the film's new traps as John exacts his revenge on the doctors who conned him. The trailer ends with the return of Shawnee Smith's fan favorite character Amanda Young. But now let's talk about who's in the cast of Saw X. Tobin Bell reprises his role as John Kramer, aka the Jigsaw Killer in Saw X. The serial killer himself died in Saw 3, appearing only in flashbacks in the succeeding films, sparking speculation that Saw X might be a prequel. A psycho who communicates with his victims via Billy the Puppet, a nightmarish ventriloquist dummy with hollow, deadly eyes, beady eyes, and red swells on his cheeks, Kramer wasn't always a monster. He was once a respected civil engineer, property developer, husband, and future father. That is, until his wife miscarried, they get divorced, and he found out he was dying of cancer. A failed attempt at suicide makes him realize that he is lucky to be alive. A positive attitude he then imposes on other people by maniacally torturing them into appreciating life more. That's one hell of a life coach. You're damn fucking right it is. Shawnee Smith also reprises her role as Jigsaw's victim turned protege Amanda Young, a spiraling drug addict who first appeared in the spiraling drug addict who first appears in the first Saw. She survives Jigsaw's infamous reverse bear trap only to become Jigsaw's apprentice in Saw 2. In a sick twist, Amanda says that getting tortured helped her value her life, a realization that leads her back to her mentor tormentor Jigsaw, whom she helps with making future traps. By Saw 3, Amanda becomes so deranged that she makes her traps inescapable, a violation of Jigsaw's rule for which she finally pays with her own life. And here's the interesting thing right here that I will highlight right now. Unfortunately for fans wishing for the return of the original cast, Carrie Elways, who is unforgettable as Dr. Lawrence Gordon in Saw, will not appear in Saw X. However, Saw X is adding fresh faces or fresh blood depending on their roles to the franchise. The almost all new cast includes Renetta Vaca from Midnight Family, Paulette Hernandez from Crowns of Tears, Joshua Okamoto from Control Z, Octavio Hinojosa from Come Play With Me, and Sonova Makodi Lund, I believe that's how you say her name, who was from Ragnarok, and Stephen Brand from The Sandman, and Michael Beach from Dharma. Saw franchise veteran Kevin Gruder returns to direct Saw X after directing fan favorite Saw 6 in 2009, and saw the final chapter, also known as Saw 3D, in 2010. He also edited the first 5 Saw installments and Jigsaw, which he is also doing for the new movie. Gruder confirmed the end of filming in February 2023 with the following message released via Twitter. Just wrapped shooting Saw X, and though the challenges were huge, easy films are rarely worthwhile in the end. It was one of the most rewarding and epic experiences of my life. Cast and crew were firing on all cylinders. He also tweeted his thanks to Lionsgate for trusting me with the blood-spitting beast of a story. Josh Stolberg and Pete Goldfinger are penning the script. Mark Berg and Oren Coles serve as producers. Horror master and Saw creator James Wan remains attached as an executive producer, along with Keturah Keston and Daniel J. Hefner. The cinematography for the film is by Nick Matthews. Saw X comes from Lionsgate and Twisted Pictures, with Lionsgate also handling distribution duties in the US. So this article right here from Collider basically confirms that Dr. Gordon will not be returning in Saw X, which is really upsetting because it completely negates my original theory for the ending of the film. Because my original ending idea, because when it comes to Saw, there is always a twist. We know this ever since the original movie. There is a twist ending. In Saw 1, it was that the dead body in the middle was the real Jigsaw killer. In Saw 2, it was Amanda being Jigsaw's apprentice. Saw 4, the correlation that Saw 3 and 4 took place at the exact same time, and not only that Mark Hoffman was a new apprentice. Saw 5, I guess, is the idea that they all had to work together, something like that. Saw 6, the twist was that John Kramer's final will, that, you get the picture. Mark Hoffman was to die as well and to be tested again. You get the picture. You get the picture that every single one of these movies had a twist in some way or other. I think the weirdest one was definitely Jigsaw regarding, I'm not going to get into it. That's for my Jigsaw, 6 years later video that will be coming out before Saw X. Some of them are predictable, like Spiral. I still defend Spiral personally, but it is predictable, that ending. But at the same time, my initial idea for the twist ending of this movie was Dr. Lawrence Gordon's return, because all these traps seem to be around medical procedures due to all these people being doctors that conned and scammed, Jigsaw. And considering we know that he has been around since Saw 2, at least helping Jigsaw in regards to the, the Venus flytrap death mask trap with Mike at the beginning of Saw 2, putting the key behind his eye as confirmed in Saw 3D, although I don't think that was the original plan because of the lawsuits that were going on between Saw 2 to Saw 6 with Carrie Elways. My original theory was that because he was helping out before Saw 2, maybe all these traps were actually made and designed by Lawrence Gordon, and that Jigsaw had a consultation, and that this was really a game designed by Dr. Gordon because of the medical procedures involved, making sure that they could actually survive something, especially something like the brain surgery trap. Because that would make a lot of sense. He is a doctor, after all. He is a surgeon. So it would only make sense that he was the one who actually created all of this stuff and created these traps. I thought that would have been a pretty cool twist. It would have been good for the fans and would have made a lot of sense regarding the game in general and the movie we were just watching. So I actually had no fucking clue as to what my theories would be for the twist ending of Saw X. Now, I think I need to see another trailer or need more information on the plot and more information on the movie as a whole before we actually go into what the twist ending could quite potentially be. As for more news regarding Saw X, though, there are a few things I never picked up on regarding Saw X a lot of old production photos. For one, the same Twitter account that did tweet out that, Lawrence Gordon won't be returning before I did my research, so now I can sort of trust him in that regard as well. We also have this here saying Adam will return in Saw X. Obviously by a different actor. Don't know how they're going to make him look like, Lee Winnell by any means, but you can see here, he is literally wearing the same shirt with the same bloodstains and everything from, you know, Saw 1, but I think it's very interesting. This little man right here in the background, you see him? You see him? He looks very familiar to another Jigsaw apprentice. I think that this man standing behind him is actually Detective Mark Hoffman, who was a Jigsaw apprentice and was basically our main antagonist from Saw 4 all the way through to Saw 7. And it would make sense considering that all the trailers, whether it's the Spanish trailer, the Brazilian trailer, the German trailer, or even the, you know, English trailer, both United States, UK, Australia, you name it, for Saw X, at the very beginning of the trailer, you hear this.
Out of all the men to cheat, you picked John Kramer?
That is literally Mark Hoffman's voice, and in every trailer, the old voice actors of Mark Hoffman for the dubs did return to do those lines. So Mark Hoffman is in this. It's basically confirmed at this point, and he looks very similar to our old friend Mark Hoffman from the other movies. He's even wearing a very similar shirt and getup that he normally wears as well. Like, here's another image of, Tommy Crowder as Adam right here. You can tell from the haircut to the shirt and everything, and the bullet hole on the left side of his body right here, that it is in fact Adam, it seems. Like, oh fuck, I didn't expect Adam to be returning in this. If that's actually true, and this is him just playing Adam, I don't know how I feel about that exactly, because he is dead. If you want to try and justify that he isn't dead, I'm gonna... He was shot in the chest and Amanda literally killed him in Saw 3 in a flashback. How the fuck would it not be Adam? I'm one of those people who still believes Adam is like 100% fucking dead. I don't know how he wouldn't be dead. Maybe he's tested again, I don't know. I've also got to point out this little tweet right here. This right here. Because we saw this production photo. This was one of the first ones that was actually released to the public, as a matter of fact, when it came to Saw X. This is the first production photo that I saw of the movie, at least, and it was John Kramer talking to this little kid, who was actually played by, what's his name, Michael Koolhays? Oren Koolhays or Mark Berg's son, I can't remember. I think it's Mark Berg's son, but Oren Koolhays or Mark Berg's son actually plays this little boy right here, apparently, which is, I think is really cool. But you look at his jacket right here, you look at his pants and his shoes, and you look at this image right here, it's literally basically the exact same getup. And then you look at this image right here, you look at the shoes there, and you look at the fucking jacket there, it's the exact same scene. But then you look at the shoes, they're very kiddie shoes, and you look at the pants right here. Do you think I would hate to see a child suffer in one of these fucking traps. Maybe it's just another thing of like, hey, it's fucking Saw. Maybe he's just been kidnapped in a way for like the father to have a test and everything, like in Saw 3 with Jeff. But at the same time, you know, it looks like this guy's in a trap, and if that's a kid, I'm gonna, what the fuck, Jigsaw? We also got confirmation by the BBFC that it has listed Tobin Bell, Shawnee Smith, and Stephen Brand as the main actors. Stephen Brand plays the detective in Saw X, so there will be a cop plot. I don't think it'll take up too much of the movie, but they are the main characters of the movie, which we knew Tobin Bell as Jigsaw would be, and considering Shawnee Smith is returning as well, I had an idea that she would probably be very prevalent. We also got some pretty cool behind the scenes looks at the movie in regards to the traps, in regards to a lot of production videos that I think are really cool. To see, like, it gives us a better idea of, like, you know, the background and the environments of these traps, giving us an idea of what could be methods of actually surviving. Like, we got one of Billy the Puppet, we got one of the timers having a sheet pulled off of it, and we also got one of the brain surgery trap in regards to a production video. So, I'm going to quickly play them for you guys to have a look at. I think they're really cool.
Light. Billy. Luz. Entra.
But not only that, what we did get a look at that I think is really cool is a new behind the scenes look at the eyes trap from Saw X right here. And I want to analyze this for a quick moment, if you will let me. So this trap is interesting for a few reasons. One thing I've now noticed since looking at this trap is that there are apparently 2 or 3 tubes seemingly leading to each eye. And I want to know what all of those are fucking for. Like, seriously, why are there 2 or 3 tubes leading to each trap? It also confirms as well, if you look in the background here, this may not be the opening trap that we thought this might be, as in the background through that doorway right there, that is actually the exact same room that the rest of the game is being played. You look at these clips from the trailer, that is the exact same lighting, the exact same room that the rest of the victims that are actually in for the rest of the movie in this game. So this trap looks like it is one of the victims in the main game. We may not have actually had a look at our actual trap for the opening sequence of Saw X just yet. Maybe there won't be a fucking Saw X opening sequence, but it does look like this scene does take place during the main game throughout the course of the film. Like, again, you look at that background right there. It's the exact same sort of industrial room in an abandoned hospital that we saw in the trailer. Like, I think that's really cool. We were initially thinking that this was in fact a opening trap, but now I really doubt that. Now, let's take a look at this trap right here. One thing I really noticed right off the bat is that these cans right here are pressurized suction cans. And it does look like from his left hand, he does have seemingly enough reach to get over to this valve right here. Could we already have a way for him to beat the trap? And not only that, if I go up, I think I have a genuine idea of where these other tubes are going, because you look here, there's 2 or 3 tubes leading right here which look to be aimed at his face, but these ones are aimed more down here into this little canister, into those 2 holes there. These 2 things right here are a suction canister. They're gas canisters or a suction pressurized container that seemingly are controlled by this valve to a little meter. It looks like it gets stronger and stronger, which seems to be sucking his eyes out slowly, slowly and faster by the second and everything more and more. And looking at this behind the scenes photo, we get an idea of how this trap actually genuinely works. It looks like it will be pressurized and get stronger and stronger over time, because I'm presuming on this little thing right here is a little dial showing how strong it actually gets, and that these 2 compartments right here are where these 2 tubes lead, where his eyeballs will be sucked into. So I'm sitting here thinking, immediately looking at this production photo, do we already have a means of actually figuring out how to beat one of these traps? Granted, he is basically blind with these other traps here. With these other tubes in his eyes that are meant to be sucking them out, because you got the fingers here, you got the dial, so it does. Oh, that's not gonna fucking work. His arm is shackled down. He's got a little brace right there. He doesn't have free reach unless he's able to slip his arm out. He won't even be able to reach this valve. That makes my job so hard. This makes my job so much harder to figure out how to actually beat these traps. Maybe he can use his leg to kick it or something. I don't know. But we get a better idea as to how this trap actually works. I don't know, maybe I'll analyze this photo a little bit more and do a how to beat the eye trap in Saw X video, because I'm genuinely already coming up with an idea of how to beat this trap. We don't exactly know how it works, but it's an idea. If you guys want me to analyze this, there's shackles around his legs too, what the fuck? Oh, you're making my job hard, Jigsaw, for a video after the movie comes out. But as you can see here, there's the little slings that are attached to his fingers, the little dial, which I haven't talked about much, but I do have an idea of how it actually functions. This is pretty cool. This is pretty cool behind the scenes look. But those are all the updates I currently have regarding Saw X, guys. What do you think of all this information? What do you think about all these behind the scenes clips? The information that Dr. Lawrence Gordon will not be returning. I'm very interested to see what you all have to say. Please comment down below. Let me know what you have to say down in the comment section. Make sure to click the subscribe button and the bell to get notified when new videos are up every single week. And also, if you did like this, also smack that like button, because it does help out with the algorithm. It lets me know that you want to see more Saw X and Saw content. It really does help. You guys have been really loving it. I've been loving making it. I've been digging fucking deep for more Saw information for Saw X to do update videos. I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of looking for a leaked clip of the eye trap so we can analyze and see that for you guys, even if it does risk copyright. But I think it'll be a fun thing to do. So thank you all so much for watching. Look out for more videos coming very soon. And I'll see you all in the next one. Take care.